Hey, it's Giles, and welcome to Urban Arts Magazine's 40 Under 40. Another episode. Yo, we have had the pleasure, the immense pleasure to talk to all of these creatives who are doing some super dope stuff. Like, I'm motivated. I hope you're motivated too watching these. Today is no different. Today is no different at all. Super excited to have this young lady with us. She's been working in the arts for the last couple years, even branched out and started her own paper business doing stationery and letterheads and journals with amazing creativity. Help me welcome to the stage Miss Stephanie Warfield. Stephanie, hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Congrats on being one of our 40 under 40.
Thank you. What an honor. This is truly, truly an honor. Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. So Stephanie, you have a little bit of a arts background. So you sang in school choir when you were younger. Tell us about that. Like, how did you get started in that?
Honestly, it was literally just in the grocery store with my mom. We ran into one of her friends and her daughter, and I was going into high school. That was the summer I was going into it in my ninth grade year, and then her daughter was actually had just graduated and was on her way to UT Austin, and she was telling me about the school, and she was like, "Oh, this and that," and just kind of telling me like the different extracurriculars, and she was like, if you like to sing, we have a choir and we have a gospel choir now.
Mhm.
And so I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like, I'll try it out because I wasn't really good at sports and I like sports, love watching sports, but it just wasn't my thing. And so at that point, I was like, yeah, I'll just give the choir a try and kind of see how it goes. And went in guns blazing, loved every bit of the gospel choir that I was involved in, but then also learned about competition choir and learned about being involved in honor choir and all that. And
Wow.
so just kind of that was my first time getting my feet wet with competition and ended up being voted by my class and my teacher as like freshman of the year.
Oh,
And
wow.
then just stayed in choir all throughout my high school career. And yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then just kind of carried it on into church. And that was pretty much it. But yes.
Gotcha. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know all that. That's awesome. And then, like, now you work with an organization called DFW Black Arts. What is that, and what do you do with that?
So I am the creator and founder's administrative assistant, but he also has given me more role than just being an administrative assistant. And he playfully, but I know he's serious about calling me like the CEO or the kind of backbone of it all. And so basically, I make sure that everything administrative is taken care of. So whether it's calendars, whether it's making sure that we have enough, I don't know, paper, anything that we need, making sure calls are made, making sure that people are set up for their meetings, anything and everything, and just making sure that he has what he needs. And this role is not just about like, oh, she makes calls, she sends emails, that's it. No, for me, whatever job or whatever role I'm in, whether it's volunteer or something like that, for me, I take on that role of it's almost like I become like your friend. I want to make sure that you're good. I check in on you. I pray for you. I'll talk to you. We have counseling sessions, whatever. So there are many hats that I wear
Mhm.
that if you were to write a job description, no, it's not
Mhm.
on there. But
Right.
at the
Right.
same time, that's me. And so I've been with Jaws for see,
Sweet.
since 2018. and
You've been that long?
been since 2018, and
Wow.
I was a stay-at-home mom at that time, and I just kind of wanted to tiptoe back into the
Mhm.
workforce and just given that opportunity. And it's funny because that opportunity came from mutual friend that we
Mhm.
have, and then it was like, oh yeah, and it's so weird because our paths crossed again from meeting in DC in
Right.
2013 and
Wow.
then being like, "Oh yeah, like that's my friend's best friend. That's cool." And then we became really good friends, and
Right.
so it's
Right.
pretty awesome just how things kind of make a full circle. So
So not to put you on the spot, But since you've worked for DFW Black Arts for 4 years, what's one of the projects or programs that's most memorable and why?
Oh, you know what? It has to be the Irma P. Hall Awards. And the reason why I say that is because I went to an award show before I started working with DFW Black Arts. And it was an award show that just, it was almost like the perfect storm. Everything that could go wrong went wrong that year. And you all were able to still pull off a show, and it went really, really well. Things looked well. And but I remember sitting there thinking, I want to work with Giles on this. Like I want to work with him on this. And that's all I said. The legit, like that's all I said. I said in the audience, that's all I said. And then the opportunity came. And I love working with the show because this is giving me a behind the scenes look at musicals and plays and things like that. I like them just from a patron standpoint, but I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know what it takes to put on a show. And so even just being able to learn those things from the awards and the type of awards that are giving, but also am able to see how to put on the Irma P. Hall Award show and knowing how to do those things. And then also was given the opportunity right before COVID, because Lord knows we've been in this pandemic for 2 years. Right before COVID, I was given the opportunity and I was trusted with doing table design for the award show and scared out of my mind. But I was given the opportunity to do it and was trusted with the design, and it actually was liked. It was actually well received. And that's the best thing about the awards, is that being in this role is giving me opportunity to do more things and tap into things that I didn't really think I could do. I like them. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool on the side. But
Right.
I actually got to do something where someone else got to see it. Other people got to see it. They may not have known who I was, but
Mhm.
they got to see something that I put together,
Yeah.
and it was well received. And so that has been like the best thing about the Irma P. Hall Awards, best thing about working for DFW Black Arts is that I actually get to try new things and tap into new things, and I'm trusted with doing those things. And so that is honestly, yes, the Urban P Hall Awards is my favorite thing, but that's probably just my favorite thing overall with
Mhm.
working at DFW Black Arts, is that I'm introduced to new things and I can try new things. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. Of course, I would love it. But so you, while working for DFW Black Arts, you decide you went into and pushed your passion.
I did.
You jumped out and created a new business that does stationery, journals, Father's Day cards. Where's my Father's Day card? I have. So, so tell us about Put It to Paper.
So Put It to Paper was birthed out of my love for stationery. And it's not like stationery like invitations and things like that, which I love invitations and those, but I love paper. I love writing. I love being able to write my thoughts down.
Mhm.
And so I love journals. I have always, for as far back as I can remember, let's go back to probably like 9 or 10, sitting in church, I would take notes because that was literally the only way that I could pay attention.
Mhm.
Because if I wasn't writing it down, then literally my mind was elsewhere. And so for me, writing helped me keep focused. Then also my grandmother. My grandmother to me is she's like the invisible backbone of Put It to Paper because the inspiration for it. And the reason why is because my grandmother always gave us cards, and she always had cards from
Mhm.
um, for different things and from different people. But she always gave us cards. So whether it was for our birthdays, whether it was for graduations, or just something important in our life, she would give us a card, but she always wrote a message in it. And so
Mhm.
I loved it. And that was kind of our thing between us. That was our thing. And so at that point, I was like, I really would love to do stationery. Didn't really know what it would look like or how it would come about, but I would go into different stores and I'm like, I really don't like this. Like, I'm not finding what I like. And
Yeah.
especially like because I am a Christian, and so I want my faith to be out there, and I wanted to be on things that I'm writing on, and things that I carry. And so I'd go into different Christian stores, and I'm like, yeah, this old lady doily floral, not
Yeah.
my thing.
Mhm.
And so I would have to make stuff that I saw work. And so at one point I said, you know what, I want to try this. And it's scary because you're going into an arena that really, you love it,
Mhm.
and hey, I love paper, and I love writing things down, and I love making notes. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know where to get started. I don't know what to do. But I was like, if I want to see something in stores that I like and that I would purchase, then I'll just have to work for it, and try to design it myself, and see what happens. And so I put it to paper, came about. I was literally just trying to figure out, like, what to call it. But I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know what to call this. And I just kept saying to my mentor, like, we were trying to come up with names, and just kept saying to her, like, yeah, I always put stuff to paper. Like, I always put stuff to paper. It's always pen to
Mhm.
paper, always that. And she was like, "So we got to figure out there's something to paper. Like, we got to, like, that's your name." And so once we realized, okay, we can't use pen to paper because someone else had it. So it
Right,
was like, all right, let's do put it to paper. And
right,
at that point, put it to paper was born.
right.
And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Most people who hear me talk about paper, they say that's probably the most I smile, or the, the most that they see me so excited, is
Right,
because paper for me is like what the arts is for you.
right.
When writing a musical or something, like, for me, if I can go into a store and go shopping for paper, it's great. Like, I'm in heaven. I'm fine.
Right.
My paper place that I use, I love going into their papers. They have a paper room, and it has all different types of paper.
A
Oh,
paper room?
it's amazing. So I love
There's
everything.
a paper room? Like, seriously?
Huh?
There's a paper room.
Yeah, it's a paper room. Like, you literally go in, and it has all types of paper. And my favorite paper, which the people that know me would probably not be shocked, but my favorite paper is the most expensive paper. Um, it's 100% cotton paper, and
It's
it's
a t-shirt.
based on your shirt. It's 100% cotton paper, but it is the best quality paper. They give you samples. You can write on it, kind of see, like, how things are written, how things look on it when you write on it.
Mhm.
Literally, she gave me the paper, she gave me a sample, and I didn't want to write on it for like 3 or 4 days. Like, I was like, this is like the holy grail, I guess, of paper. But
Can I ask how much that paper is?
it's $8 a sheet. So a lot of a lot of people that use that paper are your CEOs for notes. They use that paper for invitations, or the different types of, like, specialty event paper.
Right.
And you have to have the budget for it. Like, and
Nope.
that's the great thing about the place that I use, is because you can bring in whoever you want to. So, like, if I had a client that was like, "Hey, I want this type of paper," I could take them in there and say, "Okay, this is the paper. This is how it feels. This is the price. So this is how much it is." So if you're
Mhm.
trying to have an event for 300 people, do know that you're probably going to send out about 150 of these. So 150 times 8 plus tax plus everything else. Is that what your budget can hold? Or, if I'm doing journals or something like that, and someone, wants, this type of paper, okay, do realize that's a lot of money. And it can go even higher, but they have, like I said, they have all different types of paper. I mean, you have the cotton, you have the glossy, you have the linen, you have your regular, just lightweight notebook paper.
Mhm.
So you have your 20-pound paper, you've got your 70-pound paper, you got your 100-pound paper, all these different things. And I think that's been the best part of this journey, is that educating yourself. And I'm sure you know this. In order to do anything that you love, you need to make sure that you're educating yourself on what you love. Because if
For sure.
someone is going to talk to me about paper, I can't just sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, you just go use that 30-pound paper," and they're wanting to have note cards on their desk, and then
Right.
to last and they want it to be not flexible, you want it to be sturdy. Well,
Yeah.
30-pound paper is not going to work. And they're depending on me to know that. They're
Hmm.
not you're coming to me for stationery. You don't want me to just give you anything.
Right.
And I have to know how it prints. I have to know how it's going to hold up. And
Mhm.
so it's a process. I mean, it really is. It's a process, but it's a process that I love, that I love learning about, that it has been something that has become just a truly, it was a passion, more of a passion as a fan, but now it's a passion as a
Mhm.
stationeer.
Like,
And that part I love. And I love the fact that I've met other people that have different skills that we can combine with. And
right.
then also another mentor of mine is huge in the invitation sector of
Nice.
stationery. And just talking with her and learning from her is amazing. So you it's a passion now as a stationeer, but before it was a passion as a fan, and I didn't realize what all went into paper, but now that I do, it's made me fall in love with paper even more.
So I've never heard the term stationeer, but I love it. I absolutely love that term. I'm gonna change your name in my phone to Stephanie the Stationaire. I love
It's
it.
so cool. Like it is really the coolest thing. It's its own little community.
Yeah.
Just like the arts, everybody has their own little community of something that they have a passion for.
Stationaire.
So it's their own little community.
That's
And
who you are.
everybody does something different. And there's so many different styles and um just so many different things. And but you also get to see the creativity of people. Like
Right.
for me, I'm not elaborate, like
Mhm.
I don't do the let's have peacockers and all that kind of stuff going on. I
Right.
love simplicity. But
Mhm.
I have friends that they like I have one girlfriend who just is amazing with the elaborate things, and I love to share her work because she has an eye for that, and people have
Right.
an eye for that. But you also need someone to have a simple eye because not everybody wants the peacock feathers and the glitter
Right.
and all of that stuff. Some people just want something straight to the point,
Mhm.
have your name on it or have whatever that you want on it, a simple design. And
Right.
then, it's something that they like and it works best for them. And that is also the best thing about stationery is
Mhm.
that you can go as elaborate as you want, and then you can also go as simple as you want.
I got a question.
That's the best of both worlds. You don't have to say, "Oh, okay, well, I have to just all of this is elaborate and that's
Right.
all that we're doing." And you
Right.
can find someone that can give you what you want, and then you can find someone that can give you what you want on the other side of it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I got a
yeah.
question for you.
Yes.
Um, so in the world of technology,
Yes.
where everything is an email, a text message,
Mhm.
an e
Yes.
a Canva card, how do you compete in that world?
So with
Please.
the digital world, and that is, that's like a stationer's kryptonite, right? Like
Mhm.
you're like, okay, this is crazy. But you can also have your, especially if you're a designer, you can design and be able to design something that is for digital.
Mhm.
It's not now someone who loves paper, of course, that's not your ideal
Right.
thing, but
Right.
you can design something and you're going to charge your client for your work as of designing and then also your work of getting it out there and sending it out via email and all that stuff. Now, of course, that's a little bit easier. I mean, you just type in the names and do all that stuff, but you are also having to format it. You're also having to make sure that it looks well on whatever that they're going to open it in. So if
Yeah.
they're opening on their phone, they're opening on their iPad, they're opening on their computer, desktop, whatever, laptop, whatever, you have to make sure that it's right. So that takes time. So yes, you can do it as a stationeer. You can be a part of the digital world. Most of us who love paper, that's not our ideal, but
Right.
you can do it. I would also say too, most people who do digital, they will do a print for their
Oh,
portfolio. So
ma-
they'll do it just a print, just so
right.
you can see how it prints.
Right.
But you can be a part of the digital world. And like I said, it's not my favorite.
Mhm.
To me, there's something about getting something in the mail. There's
Yeah.
something about someone handing you something
Mhm.
that you can see their personal handwriting on. That is what I always loved about my grandmother's the cards is that my grandmother, as she got older, her handwriting changed. It went from very pretty loopy due to her arthritis to this kind of more jagged.
Mm.
But whenever I opened that card and I saw that jagged note, I knew my grandmother took time to sit at her dining room table and
Mm.
to write me a note. I was on her mind at
Yeah,
that time, and I was the only one on her mind
at
at
that
that time.
yeah.
And so for me, that's
So
why
grandma didn't BCC 5 different people the same card.
exactly. And that's my thing. When I give out cards, when I give stationery, when I give my friends a card because it was their birthday, they had surgery, whatever, like I want them to know you were on my mind at that moment. And so one of the designs that I have that I had that I've been working on is it's just a note for you. And then literally that's what it says. It's a note for you. And
Mm.
that is to me that lets you know this is literally a note for you, and it's
Weird.
blank, and it's me. It is your opportunity to write whatever you want to write to that person. So
Mm.
whether it's happy birthday, whether it's I'm praying for you, whether it's I hope you're getting well from whatever that you may have been sick with or surgery from,
Right.
whatever that it may be, I want you to know that at that moment and at that time, you were the only one on my mind. And I wanted to take some time to let you know that I care, I love you, and I'm here for you, and then put it in the mail. I don't care what anybody says. From the time that kids realize they can get something in the mail, everybody wants something in the mail.
That's
Like,
weird.
I
Bills now. I
feel
don't want those bills.
everybody wants something in the
I
mail.
want the bills. So when can we get this new card, or and where can we find that?
So you all will be able to find it at putittopaper.com very soon. And like I said before, and I want everyone to understand, it takes work for stationery. It takes
Mhm.
work because you are learning about paper. You are learning about design. I did not just wake up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," and I'm just gonna go to my computer and do it. I
Mhm.
literally said, "Okay, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to take a class on design. This
Yeah.
is what I want to do. I'm going to seek out someone." And I sought out my mentor who is
Right.
in Georgia. So Zoom calls is what we have done. Phone calls is what we have
Right.
done. Literally have had another mentor who works in marketing. Literally have made friends, have gone to a conference. Like it takes time. Now I will also be honest with people, and I want to be honest because this is a part of my story. Um, there was times of doubt, and there was times of dealing with depression and dealing with all of that.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with that and you're dealing with self-doubt and you feel like I can't do this, why would I do this? No one's gonna like what I put out. And I don't think people understand that when you are trying to do something on your own and it's something that's in your head that
Mhm.
you love, and I'm sure you felt this too with when you're writing something, um, it's in your head and you love it and it's great and
Right.
you want people to see it. But then there's that moment where you're like, will they like it? Will
Mhm.
they understand it?
Mhm.
And when there have been those moments and there have been those times during this process that it's like, I don't think I can do this because I don't want someone to not like what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I will say, when I was asked to do Father's Day cards, and my children's godmother said, "Hey, can you do these?" I was scared out of my mind because I was like, "No, they're not gonna like how I want to do this. What I'm thinking in my mind, they're not gonna like it." But I pushed through. I
Yeah.
did them. You saw them, and it
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh, like someone actually liked something that I thought of, and there wasn't this pushback. And so I just want to also be encouraging and just take a moment in this interview to say, push through whenever you feel like, hey, someone's not going to like this. This is not the best. This is not the best. This doesn't look like Hallmark. This
Right.
doesn't look like, HBO. This doesn't look like what, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's film, whether it's stationery, candles, I don't care. You know, do what you love, do what you're passionate about. Take that passion of what you're doing and put it out there. Someone will like it.
Yeah.
There are billions of people in this world,
Mhm.
and we are all different, and God made us that way for a reason. And
Mhm.
so because of our differences, something that I like, someone else will like. Not everybody, but someone else will,
Yeah.
just like you. something that you put out there, someone else will like. And so I do want to take a moment to just encourage everyone in whatever that you're doing. If it's not a business, but it's on your job, and it's the way that you teach, the way that you take notes, the way that you account, like you're an accountant, a
Right.
doctor, whatever
Mhm.
that it may be, do it that way. As long as it's not crazy, as long as it's not hurting anybody,
Right.
do it your way.
Yeah.
Someone will like it. Someone will appreciate it.
Yeah.
Someone will be thankful for it.
Mhm.
So yes, so this will be available soon. I'm very happy
Yay.
about that. I'm
Yay.
very, very happy about that. Um,
Dope.
so yeah.
How can we follow Put It to Paper?
So we're going to be I'm actually soon I've been talking with a couple of my friends who have been encouraging me to do a put it to paper, solely put it to paper IG.
Okay.
Doing that. We
Yeah.
have the website as well. The website right now is solely dedicated to blogs. That was kind of how it started too, was
Okay.
kind of blogging. And I slowed down on those, but I'm coming back with those as well. Uh,
Okay.
like I said, uh, this has been a journey. And on that journey has also been on that journey. Another leg of that journey has been mental health, and so that is what
Good.
I am uh, really trying to get out there as well. And I
Mhm.
also want that to be a part of my stationery is
Love.
the mental health piece,
Yeah.
and really trying to let people know it's okay to talk, it's
Mhm.
okay to share. It's your story, it's
Yeah.
your journey, and whatever you need to do to get it, get through it. And one thing I will say, and one of my good friends has always encouraged me on this journey, even though I didn't always understand it every time she was saying it. She was like, write it. Just write it.
Yeah.
Journal it.
Put it to
Get it
paper.
out.
Put
Put
it to
it
paper.
to paper.
Love
Put
it.
whatever it is to paper.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just like you said, when you're writing in our talks, and when you're writing a musical, and you're like, man, I can't sleep. Like I just need to get this out. Whatever it is, I just gotta get it out. For
Right.
sure. It's in your mind. That's your mind paper. That's
Mhm.
your paper. You're getting it out. Or if you write it out, you are literally trying to get it from here
To
through your
paper.
hand to
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
Like put it to paper. So
Mhm.
yeah, whatever that you're going through, whatever life is throwing at you, put it to paper, get it out. And so that really too is a part of put it to paper, is making sure that giving people an opportunity to get things out from their heart, their mind, and in whatever that they're dealing with. And that's what helped me even with the things that I dealt with. There were 4 years of my life that were the hardest, and it was the loss of two parents and my grandmother all together.
Wow.
And one thing I did, especially to help me with my mom, that was the hardest, was I just wrote what I was feeling, and it ended up being a poem.
Wow.
And it ended up, and I have it framed, and
Wow.
that is what I had to do. And I wrote a letter to my dad. For my grandmother, I literally sat next to her bedside in hospice, and I was the only one there, and I needed to get out what I was feeling. Couldn't tell you what I was feeling. I just knew I needed to get out because it was stirring up. And
Right.
I sat there and I wrote it out, and I left it by her bed as if she could read it, which she could not. And literally, I read it to her, and it was like a prayer for her. And
Wow.
then one of my cousins came right behind me, read what I wrote, and she put it in the program. And that was me. That was my heart that came
Mhm.
out. And that was my way of saying what I need to say to my grandmother in our way. That
Right.
was our thing, was
Right.
putting things to paper. And that was like my way of honoring her, my way of saying, I will see you later.
Yeah.
It is okay.
Yeah.
And that was my way of doing things. And so for me, put it to paper is not just stationary. It's
Mm.
there's a love that is behind it. There is prayer behind it. There's passion behind it. And I want people to know that put it to paper is not just to say, oh, I have this paper and it's so cool. It's minimalistic, it's modern, this, that, and the third, and yay, it's great. No, like know that someone cared when
Right.
they did the design and they chose the paper. Know that someone cared when they may have designed a t-shirt for it or whatever. Know
Yeah.
that there was care and love behind it.
Love it. So
That's
how can we
what you asked.
How can we follow Stephanie directly?
You follow Stephanie at Stephanie D Ward at Instagram on Instagram,
Okay.
and I am there. I am there. But yeah,
Okay.
go
Stephanie Moore on Instagram. Stephanie, we're gonna play a quick game
sure.
called This or That.
Okay.
I'm as everyone who's been watching this that already knows is that we do two things. I give you two scenarios, two situations, and you tell me which of the two you
Okay.
prefer. Got it?
Got it.
All right. It's gonna start off easy and then go a little tough. Would you prefer a SUV or a sports car?
SUV.
Why?
I do not like being closed in.
Mm,
Sports cars look great on the outside.
mm,
And then after that, like I'm good. So the only sports car that I really it's the only thing that comes close to a sports car is a Porsche Panamera. And I got to
mm.
sit in one and it's beautiful and all that. But give me big body all the time. Give me something big. I got space and I feel like I can move
Got it.
it.
Whataburger or Chick-fil-A?
Oh my gosh, why? Why? Okay, I will go Chick-fil-A. I love
Ooh,
I mean, come on, as a Texan, I mean,
Chick-fil-A though.
Chick-fil-A is mm, Jesus touched Chick-fil-A.
Hilarious. Okay, okay. I'll go with that. Um, would you rather to go to a big party or an intimate gathering?
Intimate gathering.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
I am the ultimate wallflower. So you put me in a big gathering. Yeah, no. Once I have said, once I have said my hello, how are you doing? And once we have probably talked about the weather, that is pretty much as far as I can go. I am not the best at small talk, unless I'm passionate about it. As you have seen, I've talked a lot, but I am not great at small talk. So for me, intimate gatherings kind of forced me to have to kind of
Mhm,
come out of my shell a little bit.
right,
Whereas a big gathering, I can hide and I'm
mhm,
good. Like
right.
I'm like, oh yeah, you go over, you dance, you have a good time. So intimate gatherings too also allowed me to um, have good conversation with
Mhm,
someone.
mhm,
And that also does push me out of my comfort zone a little bit more to where yes, okay, let's get past the fact that it's sunny outside. Let's talk
right,
about, and let's get past our jobs. Like once we get
right,
past our jobs, what else do you like? Well, I don't care if it's sports, I don't care if it's politics, I don't whatever. Like let's just have a good conversation.
right,
So,
right.
yeah.
Cake or ice cream?
I will take ice cream.
Really? Over cake?
Yes.
Why?
You know what? I love ice cream and I like cake, but it's got to be real specific. I'm not like, give me German chocolate, give me red velvet. Nope. Like, either give me lemon, give me white chocolate raspberry, and that's about as far as we're going. Like, I'm not. It's not too much that I really care for. And so with ice cream, I love ice cream. It's cold, it melts, a whole nine, and you can eat it all year round. Even though when it does get cold, I like it all year round. And I'm even a little bit more bougie, and I like my sorbets. Like my
And,
gelatos.
and the bougie ice cream. The bougie ice cream.
So yeah,
Oh,
all of those. And I'm a citrus girl, so I love lemon. Like
mm,
love, 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 love.
gotcha. Would you rather have $1 million home or $1 million in cash?
$1 million in cash.
Why?
You still have the upkeep of that home. So even though it is $1 million home, there is now the electric bill that comes with that. There is now the
So
maintenance that
practical.
comes with
So
that.
practical.
But I
I
do,
love.
and then also with the $1 million, I can still buy a home that is big enough and still have money left over to be able to do other things with and donate with or whatever that I choose to do with it. So I would take the $1 million in cash, pay the taxes, and then go ahead and do what I need to
I love it. So practical. I get it. Um, if someone gave you an all expense paid vacation, would you rather go to the beach or to the mountains?
do. Man. So I would rather go I would rather go to the beach. Even though I have yet to do a mountain trip, because and that is on the bucket list to do. That is
Okay.
something I really, really, really want to do. I so want to have like a Hallmark
Mhm.
Christmas, something, fall, whatever. But I would love to just be on a beach
Mhm.
and um, just relaxing, hearing
Mhm.
the waves, water. I love water.
Mhm.
Love, 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 love water. So I would love to just be on the beach and relaxing. I don't think we've ever talked about my dream vacation because you would so tell me that that's the reason why you like spending money. But
I'm nervous. We'll talk about that offline. I'm serious.
yes.
Two more questions. Next question. It's gonna be a little tricky, a little hard. I know you like sports.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan?
Really?
Mhm.
So well, you know what? I grew up with MJ, and I'm gonna have to go Kobe Bryant. And I say this because growing up, I had a cousin who was all Michael Jordan, and I actually did not like the Bulls at the time because everybody else liked them.
I
Everybody liked Michael Jordan,
love
and
my
I was all about like the Orlando Magic, Penny Hardaway, and that was like I love players, so not necessarily teams. I love players. Um, Kobe came in. I remember Kobe came in, I was in high school, and he had started dating Vanessa, his wife, and we were like, "Oh man!" And I remember like one of his first games, I thought he was a ball hog, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, who did they go get this high schooler is gonna be a ball hog? We don't have time for this." And then he just birthed into Kobe Bryant, and he was fun to watch. Like, I mean, MJ, of course, is fun to watch. Like, was fun to watch. I mean, come on, like MJ was like a show. Like, I mean, just his own show. But Kobe was fun because a lot of times he gets lost in the talk of
Mhm.
Michael Jordan,
Mhm.
like LeBron. For some
Right.
reason, before his passing, he kind of used to get skipped over a little bit. And
Mhm.
so it was kind of like, y'all, we're still forgetting number 8/24. Like there's this person that was in between the two. And
Right.
so there was something about Kobe that his confidence, his mentality, just the way that he played the game, the way he went about, like his work ethic was crazy. So I will have to say Kobe, but it's hard because MJ was, I mean, he was MJ. Like, I mean, dadgummit. Like, the man hadn't laced up for basketball in over 20 years,
Right.
and his shoes are still number one sellers.
So if
So,
that one was hard, wait till you hear this.
oh,
All right.
huh.
Angela Bassett or Felicia Rashad?
You know what? You got to give it to Felicia. Um,
Mm.
I love Angela though too.
Yeah.
My mom and aunt took me and my cousin to go see What's Love Got to Do with It at an age we were not supposed to be seeing the movie. But you have to give it to Felicia. Felicia was she the Cosby Show for
Mhm.
me. That was the first time I saw her.
Mhm.
Um, that show was what really wanted. That's what really wanted me made me want to go to New York after high school
Right.
and live in New York. I went to live in New York City, but I thought it was just beautiful that you had this family, this black family with this mom who, I mean, a mom of 5 kids.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer, married to a doctor, and she was an attentive mom. She
Right.
still did her job.
Right.
She just would, and the way she carried herself with grace and class, and that's how she comes off even, after the Cosbys, is like just this grace and this class about her, the way she just carries herself. And I mean, just her acting in general, but and the way she would, I mean, just the little things that I would pay attention to on screen, or how she would move her hair, and
Mhm.
like the attitude with her kids and all that kind of stuff. And when she would talk to Cliff and on the show, and like all those different things. Um, but then also just the way that she is, and just how, like I said, her grace and class is carried over the years and into each character that she plays, no matter what it is.
Right.
Um, and I love to see her. I love to watch anything that she's in. And she can play the sweet, loving mother, and then she can also play the woman with with a whole bunch of attitude and some bite and
Right.
fierceness. But I also think she was a person who helped pave the way and birth that way for the Angela Bassett's to come in, because Angela Bassett has a grace, a class, a fierceness, a boldness about her too. So it's almost, it's hard to pick
Right.
because, yeah, but I mean, Felicia Rashad is, I mean, how do you not?
Great somebody for sure. Yeah. So that was it. This or that. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today on 40 Under 40, and congrats again.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the honor. Thank you so much. I do. Thank you.
For sure. So, hey, I'm Giles. I'm your host for 40 Under 40 at Urban Arts Magazine. Make sure that you like, share, and comment, and then continue to come back and check out all of our 40 artists. We'll see you next time. Peace.